Hola from Lola. I knew that was gonna happen. Let's try it again. Let's try there. Hola from Lola. Alrighty. So I wanted to mention how awkward my daddy got when I was talking about my period to him, because back when I did my 5K, I was like, oh yeah, you're my good luck charm, daddy, because I'm still waiting for my period. I even started taking some pills. I'll put a picture of me in it right here. I started taking those pills so that I can start getting my period back and start getting my body regulated and back to normal. And it still hasn't. So, yeah. But anywho, on that, it made me really think how does a human body work? How does the female human body work? How does our cycle work? How does it really all work out? And I wanted to run 5 or 6 miles that weekend, so I told my baby sister I would do it. So what I did was I went to go look into the Nike Club Run app and I found an actual run that talks about your period. It's called the Menstrual Cycle Run, Part 1 and Part 2. So I did the hour-long run. There is a 2-part 30-minute videos, or not videos, guided runs. There's a 2 individual menstrual cycle part 1, and there's a menstrual cycle part 2. They're both 30 minutes long. I did the third option, which is menstrual cycle part 1 and 2. I wanted to go for the full hour since I knew I was going to be running more than 30 minutes, because I do not run that fast in 30 minutes. I had my distance I wanted to go, so I just needed to find something to go along with it. I feel like this is that was a really good segue into what I'm looking for in my life right now, and it was really calling for me to do it. So I did do the long one, and I'm glad I did. But anyways, it was really nice. Alrighty. So, let's see. Where did I want to start? When you're a child and you used to run around, all the little boys and girls, even nowadays when you see them, boys and girls run around and they play soccer, they play on the monkey boards, they do all kinds of things together, boys and girls. But as they start to get older, the little girls start developing things and they start to develop in places that they're not used to, because only the only people they probably have ever seen bigger and taller and different is their parents and parents around them, but they don't understand what's happening to them and their bodies. When girls are about 10 to 14 is when they start building their chest, and then you start to notice their hips. Their hips actually start to widen. All of our female hips start to widen some more, and that makes children feel awkward. It makes them feel different. It makes them feel like they don't know what's happening within their own body. So then they stop playing sports. They stop getting involved as much, and it's because of what's happening to their natural body and the timing that it is. So I think it's really good that we all start to talk about that stuff, because if we don't do it while we're adults and we're able to have normal conversations about it, how are we going to be able to converse to a child? I want more help in figuring out how to properly talk to them, so that they know what's going on, so that they know that they are okay and that what is happening is normal. Because when you don't talk about it, it's because it's not normal. That's how I feel. So instead of making them feel excluded, and instead of just not letting them play, mentioning what is happening to their body. So then that way you're like, okay, I'm still the same. I can still play. I can still do sports. I can still have fun like I used to, and continue to be socially around other children, so that they don't feel weird when they get older. So there's actually 4 phases of your whole entire menstrual cycle, and they're just basing it off of 28 days. Everybody is different. I know for myself, I should start a better tracking so I can figure out exactly how long my cycle is, and you can. So let's just start there. There's 4 phases for your cycle. You have the first 7 days, which is your menstrual cycle. Then you have a follicular cycle, which is day 7 through day 14. Your ovulatory, I hope I'm saying these words right. If I'm not, please pronunciate for me in the comments so that I know how to properly say these words, because I am just learning just like anybody else that is listening. So take it for what you can. And then so the third phase is day 14 to day 21, and then the luteal is day 22 to day 28. Each phase, it actually has different things that you can eat to help you make sure that you have enough estrogen, make sure your levels are okay, just to help you improve on those. Let's see. So in your menstrual cycle, the first 7 days, it's really good for like high intensity exercising, running, or circuits, because that's where you're able to get just better results during that first week. You're also more creative and you're more focused. So what I was noticing and realizing about that is that if there's certain times or on certain days where I'm just like not motivated or not wanting to be creative or anything, I should really pay attention to that and see like where I am in my cycle, because maybe I'm just doing things at the wrong time. Maybe I shouldn't be doing it here, and I should be focusing on, like different things. So then that way when it comes around to this time, I am more focused, I have more creativity, I feel better about what I'm doing instead of second guessing myself all the time. I think that would be such a good way to like live my life. Okay, but then in the follicular, days 7 through 14, you start to shift a little. You start to clearly communicate better, and you're more productive. Your productivity, you're just better. You're doing more. You're able to accomplish. You're able to do things. You're able to be more social is going to be during your 8 to 14 days. So right before your ovulatory phase of life is when that's happening. You're like more social. And then so from day 14 to day 21, it's a good time for activities that support rest and reflection, such as yoga, long walks, bike rides. So for the 3rd week, you want to really just get your body ready, just be more comfortable within yourself. You already started being more social and out there. You already started communicating better and being so active and productive. Now it's time to really just rest, reflect. Like I said, using yoga, long walks, or a bike ride. You're also more assertive. Like you're more aware, you're more sure, you're more confident in like what's happening. And you'll also enjoy problem solving and public speaking during the 15th to the 21st, that time frame, that 3rd week of the month. That's when you should like plan when you're going to be doing your school. I don't know, let's say you have a review paper or something, you have a research paper, you have to speak out loud in front of everybody, and you're just not ready. This is that time where you're like, oh, okay, it's almost the third week in my cycle. I know I could do it. Let's schedule it in here. Let me, apply for a job during the second week, and then the third week is the time frame when you want to do your interviews, because you would want to make sure that you're clear-minded, that you're able to communicate properly, that you're able to solve problems if it was just thrown at you really quickly, and just speaking in public in general would be that time frame to do. And then from day 22 to day 28, you're feeling more analytical during this time. Like you're feeling just like trying to level everything out, because you already were creative, you communicated, you started being productive, you started being more social, you started problem solving and, putting everything where it goes. Now, the last week in the cycle of a cycle is when you're going to start really setting everything up to get ready for the following week, which is the cycle, which brings you back to the beginning. I know as much as it hurts to get up and get out of bed when you're on your cycle, it really is good for you, because your body is trying to expel what is happening. Your body temperature is also different depending on what stages you are in your menstrual cycle of life. Not just your menstrual cycle, but your cycle of your monthly cycle, whole entire month. It could be completely different. It was also mentioning that there's different types of athletes. You have your average Joe, me, who runs every once in a while. Then you have your marathon runners, like my baby sister. She's the marathon runner. She, so her body and her cycle, her monthly cycle of life can be completely different than mine, because of the amount of running that she can do and is doing. And then you have master runners, master athletes who are in their 40s, which surprised me and just gave me hope in maybe I can still do it. I can still be a master athlete. I could do this. Why not? It's still fun. I'm enjoying what I'm doing, so might as well do it, right? So, yeah. If you really just want to make sure that you're taking in just as much as you're trying to put out, because it will make it harder if you are just giving all the effort and your body just is not giving it in return. It makes you think that you're just not doing it correctly. When you're in your 30s or your 40s, it's actually time to start giving yourself more weight. It's to work out with. Is start upping the weight that you're working out with. It's time to start going on shorter runs that get your endurance going faster, because your body is going to take longer to be able to just process everything. So it's better to do things that are going to help you gain more muscle mass, because your body is no longer wanting to do it, or it can, but it's just better if you do it this way. As for it's better to do things this way so that you can stay healthy and stay in shape, as compared to just running nonstop and just doing cardio. You need more things so your body can know how to keep working every part of your body. And that actually was really cool to hear. It also said that you need to take in more calories, because the harder you want to lose weight, the more calories and the more you're working out, the more your body is burning. But it needs to burn more than just your body. You can't just burn your body. You have to also get in calories so that it can take that and break it down and be able to help you get into the shape that you want to be. And then what else did it say on this guide? There's so much in this one. It was an hour long and it was wonderful. I wanted to write down everything, but I couldn't. You just have to run it so you can hear it, and I want to run it again so that I can hear it again, so I can hear more of what I've missed. I went to go print out some papers that I wanted to add in, because like this information is stuff that I really wanted to put into this video. So anyways, let's start over. Starting over. So what I wanted to know was, like, how does your cycle even work? Like, your actual period cycle, and like, why does my body like bleed? And I found this online, and I'll put the link for the website that I got this off of, because it's actually really helpful, and it makes it really super simple when you just read out what it is. So for your cycle days, I'm going by cycle days. So from day 1 to day 6 is when you begin and end your flow of blood. You're done. Your estrogen and your progesterone start out at their lowest levels. So I know a friend of mine was telling me that I should get my progesterone tested, because hers was low because of her birth control and how long she was on. Depending on the type that you are on, can also like naturally just lower your progesterone. So she actually had to get onto some progesterone medication while being pregnant, so that she can hold her baby, because she wasn't producing enough to be able to have a baby. She had 2 miscarriages because of her low progesterone. And when she took her pills, she was able to have 2 beautiful children. When she started taking more progesterone, she got tested, it was low. When she started taking them, she was able to actually have children. So that's pretty cool. I wanted to get mine tested because I know I was on birth control since like who knows when, how long. But now knowing, like, there's only a certain time frame that I should be going to get tested, because if they are not the right levels and we're reading it wrong during the wrong time, then maybe we don't need the progesterone as much. So yeah. So this is starting in your first 6 days. You're starting out with them at the lowest, and then the follic stimulating hormone FSH levels start to rise and stimulate maturity for the follicles, and your ovaries start producing estrogen. Your ovaries start to produce estrogen and your levels start to rise, while your progesterone remains low, which is kind of cool. On day 7 to day 13, the endometrius, the liner of the uterus, thickens to prepare for egg plantation, which is cool. It thickens to prepare for implantation, and then you come into day 14, which is ovulation. That's when you, for sure, it's like, it's the day. That's the day that your surge in luteinizing hormone, your LH, which is the largest follicle, bursts and releases eggs into the fallopian tubes. So your LH, it just eggs everywhere. And they go into your fallopian tubes, bloop, 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 and they just sit there. So then when you get to day 15 to day 28, which is the last of the cycle days, ruptured follicles fall into the corpus luteum. You know me, I cannot pronounce words, but I will try. I will put it here so you can know what it is. And again, this article and this link will be in the comments, so you can actually click on it and see where I'm at and just go along with me. I'm on like page 4 and page 5 of this information. So your erupted follicles, they develop into corpus luteus, which produces progesterone. So that's where your progesterone starts to come back. And your progesterone and your estrogen stimulate blankets of blood vessels to prepare for egg plantation. So they're just getting all cozied up, waiting to be implanted. So basically, this is a time when it's just figuring out if you're going to get pregnant or not. If the fertilized egg is attached to the blankets of blood vessels that supply nutrients for the developing placenta, corpus luteus continues to produce estrogen and progesterone. If fertilization does not occur, the corpus luteum deteriorates, estrogen and progesterone levels start to drop, and the blood vessel lining slouts off, and menstruation begins. So basically, we go back to day 1, and it goes into that same cycle where they are starting out really low. So when you do conceive your child, because you're not fertilizing each other, but when you do conceive your baby, your estrogen and progesterone should come back up. They should go up because that, I guess, would help the baby start to grow and become the human that it's supposed to be. What was the other parts that I wanted to read? So, yeah, that's basically your cycle, and then you start over again with day 1 at the which, since you didn't get pregnant, you didn't conceive a sperm in you. You're gonna go through your menstruation cycle again, where your estrogen and progesterone are low, progesterone are low. What I wanted to read was this part right here. Because there is 4 phases, but they can break it down into 2 phases to just make it a little easier. And it's either you're in the follicular, which is called the proliferative phase. Basically, it's the first 2 weeks. So, which occurs from day 1, from the day you start bleeding, through day 13. At the beginning of that phase, at the beginning of the follicular phase, the liner of the uterus breaks down and sheds during menstruation. So since it went into the fallopian tube and nothing was there, and no elevator answer to open the door to bring up a baby, they are now going to just come out. And then the endometrium. Then the endometrium grows for the rest of the follicular phase. Oh, the endometrium then grows for the rest of the follicular phase. That's pretty cool. So, at the beginning, the lining of the uterus breaks down and sheds, but then it also starts to grow for the rest of the time, which is, I guess, like day 7 to 14, probably, because or however, whenever your period or your menstrual cycle ends. And then the pituitary hormone, called the follicular stimulating hormone, FSH, stimulates maturation of the follicles in the ovary. Then the luteal, which is the second phase, occurs for days 15 to 28. During this time, the follicle that releases the egg forms the corpus luteum, a structure which helps increase levels of progesterone for pregnancy, and which degrades if fertilization does not start. So it's literally just a cycle. But everything I'm reading, it's all a cycle. It all goes the first couple days, the first day you bleed. Basically, what I feel I need to do at this point, now knowing all of this, now that I'm done talking and I can actually listen to myself, I have two things I want to also make videos about: the seeds, the different types of seeds, and also just what was it called? There is this theory and way. It is called the fertility awareness method, and basically there's certain things that you can do to find out what that is, like watching my next video that's going to talk about all of this, because I'm done talking about that and I don't need to talk about it in this one, because all we're talking about is the cycle in general. So I cannot wait. I'll probably put the seed and awareness method for pregnancy together into one video, just because I feel like I'm gonna talk and I'm gonna talk a lot. So, and I want to give you guys a lot of information that I'm finding out, and I'd love to hear any information that you guys have, because I really need to know how the body works, since it is better to be aware either way. I'd rather know. And if I look stupid, at least I'm trying to find out what's happening in the world, and I want to be heard, and I want to make sure that people know that, I mean, it's okay to not know, but it's also okay to learn. And I have a whole little packet to teach me, and I can't wait until we have our little babies. We can't wait till we have our babies so that I can give us all this information to them, and I can give them all this information, and they're just going to be ready and set for life and set for not being awkward kids, because they are just going to be little grown adults. And I'm so excited for that. I want to say thank you so very much for being here and just listening to me and hearing me out and really helping me out if you can in any way, shape, or form. I will be running the other 2 runs eventually, sooner than later, and we'll see what's on those, because this first one really interested me and I really want to know what the other ones are about. So we'll make another video. We'll do part 1 by itself and then part 2, and then we'll see how that goes. So yeah, for now, I thank you guys so very much. I thank you so much. I hope that you learned something, and I hope that I made you question just the way that the woman's body is. If I said anything incorrectly, I am no doctor. I can tell you that much. I am not a doctor. I don't know. I'm just saying what I have found online, and if I am incorrect, please let me know in the comments so that I can also get educated the correct way. I am just starting to learn about the human body. At 33 years old, I'm learning about my body, and if you honestly can help me understand it even more, that would be lovely. Okay.